aucun prétexte, je ne veux avoir de réflexe malin.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mamta Shastri, not Banerjee.
Can you do it? Never.
It's such a nice feeling to be back making a video. You guys have just shown me so much love. The whole reason I make videos is so that CBSE, ICSE state board students don't feel left out. If you move to the UK to study an undergraduate degree right after 12th grade, it's going to look very different from school. I remember seeing loads of lifestyle related content like vlogs. I wanted more real insight into what studying abroad is really like. Which brings me to today's video. What's uni like when you're actually there? What is university in the UK really like? I'm going to go over every single year I've spent at Durham University as a law student, as a third year who's almost graduating. Help me! And hopefully by the end of the video, I've created the ultimate guide to university in the UK for international students. The first week of your first year will most likely be called a Freshers Week. This is a week hosted by the university for all the first years. Get to know people, make friends. Durham had this really fancy formal event to mark the beginning of our degrees called a matriculation. It was straight out of Harry Potter or a cult, depending on how you see it. At this event, I met so many people from my college because Durham has like a collegiate system. If your university doesn't have a collegiate system with colleges, you'll still have loads of events to go to. You'll have club nights. Some of them will be like induction talks in the day. Definitely go to as many of them as you can. One of the events might also be a societies fair. So all the student-run societies in the university will set up a stand so you can like walk around the fair and decide what you might be interested in. Some societies are profession related, some are academic, some are sports related, some are just for fun. Durham had a furry society. There's some really fun ones, like I joined the poker society. You see something you like, you walk up to them, you speak to them, learn about what they're doing. Your university will give you the logins and instructions to access your email address, your learning portal, and all of the sort of tech stuff. I highly recommend doing this ASAP because in the start, they usually send you emails with loads of resources and links, some really helpful stuff. After freshers, I think I spent the whole term just adjusting. Firstly, to the weather. Secondly, to just managing a household by yourself for the very first time. Laundry, cooking for yourself, buying groceries, knowing what's running out in your fridge, what needs replacing, taking the trash out, remembering to take the trash out. I really enjoyed it though because I was well prepared. I knew what I was getting into and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be that independent. The UK has a very self-sufficient society, unlike how we live in India sometimes. The biggest mistake I see international students make is not being aware or prepared for the level of independence it takes to live abroad. When you move to the UK for university, you need to stop looking at cleaning, cooking, laundry as chores, but think about the fact that it's the best preparation for adulthood instead. So let's talk academics. In the UK, you'll do anywhere from 4 to 6 modules, depending on your course and your university. At Durham, for law, I do 6 modules every year. Modules are just subjects. You'll have lectures for each of these modules, but they're not going to be every single day, one after the other. I had between 0 and 2 hours of lectures on any given day of the week. I'm pretty sure this is true for all UK universities at this point, but lectures are recorded, so they're not compulsory to attend. What I recommend doing is to go to every single lecture for the first 2 weeks. That helped me decide which lectures were easier to follow and which I would probably need to pause and repeat. Before a lecture for any module, you'll be given a lecture handout. You'll be able to find these on your learning portal like Blackboard. The handout will outline the content that's going to be taught in the lecture. It will also usually assign you some reading to do. This reading can either be a couple of academic articles or a section out of a large textbook, or a mix of the two. Within the first 2 weeks of getting handouts, reading them, and attending lectures, you'll figure it out. UK universities also teach through seminars and tutorials. These will be compulsory, and because you're on a student visa, you can't afford to miss these unless you have a valid reason. I won't lie, I've missed a few over the course of my degree, but just don't be careless. And even otherwise, it'll help you get better grades if you engage with the content more. To prepare for seminars and tutorials, you'll be given handouts as per usual with readings, but also some questions. The seminar leader essentially moderates a discussion between you and your fellow students. The only way that you'll get value out of these seminars and tutorials is if you do the prep. After your first couple sessions, you'll know exactly what to do. But I wanted to point it out anyway because it's just so different from the teaching and learning style that we see in India. Now, reading weeks. Some universities give students like a week of lectures, any kind of like contact hours, so that you can catch up on your reading. My university does not give us this.
Never.
But that's okay, I'm fine, guys. I'm fine. Uni libraries are literally fantastic. They're the best place to get work done. Personally, I've been going to the library a lot more in my third year than I ever did in my first year.
Nerd.
So all in all, academically, you've got handouts for lectures, handouts for seminars and tutorials, and reading that you have to do for all of them. Exams depend completely on the kind of course that you do. I'll tell you what mine are like.
Say something.
All my exams are open book and 24 hours long. But that just means that I have 24 hours to complete the exam. I might have essay questions or problem questions. It really does change depending on the module you take or like even the course that you study. I found a part-time job a month after I moved to the UK. My first job was being a bartender at a local pub. After I started working there, I became completely financially independent.
I'm a dad, I'm a husband. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
I never asked my mum for any money for daily maintenance. Whether or not you want to work part-time alongside your studies is completely up to you. Some people need to do it, some people don't need to do it but still want to for the work experience. And now I'm going to give you some extra special tips for your first year. The first one is to get involved. I joined the Law Society, and I remember every week in my first year, I had a Law Society event to go to. I also worked for the student union and I met loads of people through that, so that was really fun. By getting involved, you open yourself up to so many opportunities. You can make friends from all over the world, have so many opportunities to grow as a person, improve your skill set, which is essentially why you've come to study abroad in the first place.
Oh, really?
Second, don't be afraid of doing things alone. In my first year, I went to Durham Film Festival. It was at the end of the year, summer had started, all my friends had left. But I went anyway and I loved it so much. It made me want to be on the organizing committee for the next year. I mean, look how stunning it is. I would have really regretted not going just because my friends weren't there, so I'm really glad I went. Don't be afraid to go to things by yourself. Third, please explore the town or the city that you're in. After my first term, I started going on adventures in town, going to like neighboring towns, going to the closest beach with my friends. I'm in love, I'm so in love with Durham. So I beg you, please, you must do this, whether you're going to live in Birmingham, Manchester, London. I finished first year with a 2-2. Which isn't really a good grade. This is what the grading scale in the UK looks like. You'll probably never see a 90 again after leaving India, so get used to it. I did finish second year with much better grades, and I think it's because I did a couple of things. First is that I chose to study a language as one of my elective modules. I'm pretty good at picking up languages, and I took French, which I think helped boost my grade up a little bit. And the second thing I did was I used university resources to help me improve my essay writing and research. If you think back to earlier when I said that you should do the IT stuff ASAP because the university will send you loads of stuff, This is why. If you ever struggle with anything, academically, mental health wise, financially, you can always rely on those resources. But anyway, second year is more demanding academically, but you have loads of opportunities to do better than you might have done in first year. Extracurriculars in second year is super fun because in first year you would have joined societies, but then in second year you can sort of move up the ladder and get leadership opportunities within those societies. For example, I joined the Durham Law Society in first year. I was just a member, I would just go to events and stuff, but in second year I ran in the elections and I became the admin officer. And then I also was the filmmaking liaison for Durham Film Fest. But the most exciting thing I did last year was starting my own society, kind of. I realized that the law school itself didn't have as many opportunities to get involved in pro bono work, and I wanted to fix it myself. So I emailed the dean and I was like, hey, can I start this thing?
I went into the Disney Channel building and I sat down with the president of Disney Channel and I said, I want to make history. And that's what this is.
I also did better with regard to part-time jobs. In the first term of my second year, I landed a job at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Durham. Well, I did start there as a bartender, but after a few months, I asked if I could be moved to the reception desk. Another big part of being a second-year student is applying for internships. I spent the whole of first term and second term just applying. Sometimes I would get rejected after the first round. Sometimes I would go to the next round and get rejected. It was a really challenging year because you're just facing so much rejection. I just kept applying, and at the end of the year, I had secured a 12-month-long internship. The position was to be a legal intern for Europe and Canada in the legal department of a pharmaceutical company. So I would have finished second year, done my year-long placement, and then returned to uni to finish third year. I was preparing to take a year out, and then the company got a new CEO who said,
"You're fired."
Instead, they offered me a summer internship. I had never worked in the UK before in a corporate sense. It was really great to have that opportunity now going into full-time job search. Third year will be your busiest year, even though you have fewer lectures and less coursework. That's because every final year student has to do anywhere between an 8,000 to a 12,000 word dissertation project. This dissertation is worth 2 modules out of your 6, but you still have to do 4 regular modules. I have been extremely busy with this. I actually have my first chapter due in like 4 days. Extracurriculars this year have slowed down, but intentionally. With Durham Law Society and the Film Fest, I felt like I hit a ceiling. So this year, I made the decision to continue building the pro bono fundraising team. We've raised almost £2,000 for national pro bono charities Law Works and Advocate. If you're interested in donating, I'll leave a link in the bio. Job hunting. I'm sure you've seen this online already, but landing a full-time job post-education as an international student is that much harder because of needing visa sponsorship. I'm keeping my head high and persevering because I know the results will follow, as it will for you. A lot of YouTubers and Instagram influencers are starting to warn students about going abroad to study because of the job market. I would never tell you this because for me, if I stayed in India and did a 5-year course in a university that I wanted to go to, I would still have to take a loan and the job market would be just as tough, except labor laws and the work culture in India are absolutely pathetic from what I know. So for me, taking a loan to study abroad for 3 years and trying to crack the job market was a worthwhile pursuit. I'm not telling you to ignore financial practicality and then go abroad anyway to study, but what I am saying is not to listen to people that are just blatantly like, don't go abroad to study because the job market is tough, because it's different for everyone. Everybody has a different risk appetite. Everybody has different wants and needs in life. I hope this video helps you understand what it's really like studying abroad so you can make an informed decision instead of listening to just anyone. Okay, just to close off the video, I want to give you a closing tip. Uni is what you make of it. It sounds really, really cliche, but it's so true. Some never join a single society, some join 15, some drink and party every day, some never do. Some make friends with everyone, and some people only make friends with people from their country or background. Everybody's experience is completely different, but the best part is it's completely malleable. One day you wake up and you feel really unsatisfied with how uni is going for you. At university, you have the magical opportunity to wake up the next day, flip the script, make different choices, and a month later, you're living a completely different life. If you're going to come, make good use of what's available to you and be adaptable. Right, that's going to be the end of my video. It feels so good talking to you again. The first thing I do after uploading a video is wait for your comments. So please, please, please share your thoughts, subscribe, like the video, and share it with your friends.
Back to the computer. Oh my gosh, I'm such a nerd. Let's see if I got any new comments. Aw, man.